Hey guys, it's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe. So I wanted to do a quick video talking about a writer-director that I really enjoy, who's one of my favorites. He's definitely up there, but he's not mentioned very often, and that is Vincenzo Natali. Um, his main movie that I would say most people know about is Cube, also another one called Splice. Those are older now, but I just wanted to talk about some of the films he has that I have, and some of the films he's done that I have, excuse me, and what I enjoy about them, and how I think he's a really underrated director and writer. The past few years, he had been tied to the Neuromancer movie, which was a adaptation of William Gibson's book, which kind of started the whole cyberpunk thing back in the 80s. I don't know if he's still attached to that. I'm not sure what's going on with it, to be honest, but I'll look into it. So here are some of his movies that I own. Put the camera back on. And as I said, the one most people know about is Cube. This actually got two sequels, which are also good, but not as good as the first one, which is usually what happens with movies. The first one's usually the best. Um, those weren't made by him, so he must have just licensed out the rights or whatever. Um, the movie's pretty much about these people that are put inside this cube. They don't know why they're there. They don't have any memory of anything. And depending on which movie you watch, but since we're talking about the first one, there's codes and hidden things in each of the rooms. And they sort of have to figure out why and what's going on and how to get out of the cube. Some of the movies have, I don't want to give away too much, but some of the movies have like the cube moving in certain ways or doing certain things, and they have to find patterns. So that's sort of the gist of it. All the while, it sort of has almost like a, I don't want to use the term Saw or the movie term Saw, but there's really like cool kills where they're trying to figure something out. And somebody goes into a room, and they think it's safe, and it's not, like their head gets chopped off, things like that. Meanwhile, there's always someone in the group who's like the aggressive one who tries to like kill everyone else and get out by themselves. So each of the movies sort of has some of that. Cube One is great. Cube Two is really good, but it's a little cheesier. And then Cube Three, it's called Cube Zero. It's actually a prequel to one, so they all do tie in. And I like the characters. I like the story a lot. I think if you like science fiction and you like sort of thinking, but also like that on the edge of your seat whether or not everyone's going to make it out, check out Cube. It's a really great movie. Another one that he did, this one's newer. This is called Haunter. I believe Beth and I found this on Netflix. It's pretty much like a Groundhog's Day mixed with horror. It's Abigail Breslin living in this house with her family, and all this stuff starts happening, and things start repeating themselves, and you don't know why. Um, there's something to do with something that happened in the house, and things are now going over and over and over, and she sort of has to find her way out of that. It's much cooler than that. I'm not really describing it as well, um, but I also don't want to give away too much. This sort of has a cool mystery to it. So we liked it enough on Netflix to pick it up on Blu-ray. It wasn't expensive. I think it was like $5. Check this out if that sounds interesting to you. And keep in mind, all of his movies always feel different. It's like refreshing. That's the best way for me to put it. All of his films that I've seen always feel refreshing. They're always interesting or different. Um, they have like a different perspective on things. He also, and the funny part is, Terry Gilliam is one of my favorite writers and directors. I would put him up there with Cronenberg, Lynch. Natali's up there, and Natali did a documentary on Terry Gilliam while he was filming Tideland, called Getting Gilliam. So I guess Vincenzo Natali has some kind of admiration for Terry Gilliam too. But either way, they're all kind of up there as some of my favorites, and I would recommend all of them. Another great one that he had done is called Cypher. I hadn't heard about this one, but when I knew he did it, I picked it up online. It has Lucy Liu in it, and it's pretty much like a futuristic spy movie with like cyberpunk elements, and things keep changing, and you don't know like what's happening and who's good and who's bad. Um, it's a really great spy film, and as I said, since it has cyberpunk stuff in it, I really like it. Uh, it's like a thriller, but the spy elements aren't so over the top that you don't like I've never been such like a big James Bond fan. It doesn't have that feeling to it. So I would definitely check this out if you're a cyberpunk guy. Cypher is really great, underrated, and most people don't talk about it. Another cool movie that he did is called Splice. Splice is a movie where they're trying to do these like genetic engineering, and they create this sort of like it's not an alien, but it's like a they use these DNAs from different animals and stuff and humans, and they make a hybrid, and the thing starts getting a mind of its own and like acting really strange and doing different things, and they don't know whether to trust it or not. It's really creepy in a way because it's human-esque. You know, it looks human, it acts human, but it also has something very weird about it. So it has again like thriller elements to it, and I don't want to give away too much. Adrian Brody's in this; he's really good. And what's her name? Sarah Polly, I believe, is the other one. And it's just an interesting film, kind of weird, kind of creepy. If you like alien or weird type of, you know, engineering DNA type movies, check out Splice. And finally, I'm going to leave off on probably his weirdest note, but very funny, and that is Nothing. Nothing has two actors that you would have definitely seen before. It says here David Hewlett and Andrew Miller, and you've definitely seen them in things before, but you may not know their names. That's kind of those type of actors. You know, you've seen them in things like, oh, I know that guy, but can't recall his name. They're in this, and Nothing is about this quirky, sort of eccentric two guys. They're roommates, and one of them gets in trouble, and they're like playing video games and whatever. One of them gets in trouble because I think this Girl Scout comes to the house. It sounds really weird, and the Girl Scout is very forward and keeps like she like shoves her way into the house sort of, and keeps like bothering him to buy cookies, and he sort of I think shoves her out the door or something, and she gets a bruise on her, and she goes to the mother and starts saying, "This guy touched me," and that's like how the movie starts out. But they're so quirky and weird, these guys, that like you feel bad for them because you know they're just like very awkward, and they wish away everything around them because they can't deal with anything anymore, and everything literally turns to nothing. It's just their home, and then white, just nothing, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. They're arguing with each other. Strange things start happening, and it's all kind of about their friendship and how they have nothing now at this point around them. But it's interesting. It's funny. It's got that like science fictiony element to it, and it's definitely a great movie that again most people haven't heard of. That I would definitely recommend if you like kind of quirky comedies with like a science fiction sort of vibe. Check out Nothing. And I always, it's too bad this is ripped, but I always really liked the cover. I thought it was cool that it's all blank like that. That takes nerve, you know, to like, oh, we're gonna put literally nothing on the cover. So check that out. Yeah, if any of these sounded interested to you, or if you've seen some of his other films, I would definitely recommend going deeper into his catalog. Vincenzo Natali has some great movies, and he's definitely underrated. So, thanks guys for watching. It's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe. Be good.